وكان حقا علينا نصر المؤمنين. وقال النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم إن أشد الناس بلاء الأنبياء ثم الأمثل فالأمثل. My dear respected brothers, elders, scholars, mothers and sisters, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Alhamdulillah, it's a great blessing of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that He has honored us to sit in His house today and learn from the deen of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The topic has been highlighted and you are all aware. Sometimes the topic is a very controversial one. People are hesitant to talk about it. Even ulama and imams are afraid to talk about such topics because these topics contain things of the unseen world, the ghaib, things we don't know about, things we're not very clear about, things we can't see. But there's no need to be scared or afraid because there's many things we cannot see. In the beginning verses of Surah Baqarah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions الَّذِينَ يُؤْمِنُونَ بِالْغَيْبِ. Allah describes the muttaqeen, brought iman on the unseen, on the ghaib, things they have not seen. And when it comes to the unseen, what's the biggest thing? The first thing that we have to believe in, which we have not seen. MashaAllah. The first thing is Allah Himself. We have not seen Allah. We have not even seen Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. The Sahaba did. We have not seen Jahannam. We have not seen Jannah. We have not seen the punishment of the grave. We have not seen Qiyamah. It's not happened yet. We've not seen the angels. We didn't see all the messengers. There are many things we have not seen, but that is part of our faith. Yeah? Unlike the atheist who says if you can't see God, then He doesn't exist. So when it comes to black magic and evil eye, it is a world of the unseen. It does involve things which you cannot see, like the jinn and magicians and witches and people doing things which are supernatural. So the talk inshallah will be divided into nazar, right? The second will be about black magic, which we know in our language as jadoo, and the third will be the treatment. Somebody who is suffering, or in the future somebody who could potentially suffer, what is the way of treatment? But before we delve into these topics, there's a few things we need to understand, which I feel are vital and relevant. That if you understand these things, maybe it might be half your solution to your problem. If you understand a few things before we go into these topics. First and foremost is, aside from black magic and evil eye, why does Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala send trials and tribulations? Why does Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala send problems and calamities? Why does Allah give us musibat, pain, taklif, suffering? Whichever word you want to use, whatever you're going through, whichever part of your life, why does Allah give it? Anybody know? Test, mashallah. Very good. So one reason is a test. Another reason, also to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, make you better Muslim. Okay. Anything else? What do we know? Come on, there's some elders sitting here who will have lived a longer life than you and I, 40, 50, 60 years, will have seen a lot of problems and troubles in life. Kyun Allah musibate bhejte hai? Because of your a'mal. Very good, mashallah. Very good. Because of your a'mal. Kabhi bure a'mal hote hai, to Allah wahi azab dete hai, to put us into line. Yeah? ظهر الفساد في البر والبحر بما كسبت أيدي الناس. Mischief has spread in the sea and the land because of what you have done, what I have done, what we have done. This is why problems come. Very good. The hadith I mentioned at the start, إِنَّ أَشَدَّ النَّاسِ بَلَاءً الْأَنْبِيَاءُ ثُمَّ الْأَمْثَلُ فَالْأَمْثَلُ. is a question which was asked by a Sahabi to the Prophet ﷺ, that which of the people are tested the most? Who is tested the most? Because sometimes we think he has it easy and she has it easy. The Anbiya, wo to Allah ke pyare the, they had it easy. The answer that the Nabi of Allah gave were the people who were tested the most were the prophets. The prophets had it hard, harder than you and I, harder than the Sahaba. The prophets were tested and tested time and time again. Fir Allah ke kareeb. Yeah, they didn't become Allah's friend and Allah's beloved just like that. Then the Prophet ﷺ said, ثُمَّ الْأَمْثَلْ فَالْأَمْثَلْ. Then those closest to them, those closest to Allah, then those closest next. So somewhere in that line, our turn will come. But every single person sitting here, brother or sister, male or female, will be on another level. Not everybody is tested the same. Yeah? So it's never my job or your job to say, usko to azab mili hai. Allah is punishing him. This sister, she's always going through problems. That's Allah's punishment. That's not mine and your job. Because everybody's on different levels. What did I just say? The people who are tested the most are the prophets. So if some people who have a rule that unko musibat hi aati, unke ghar mein musibat hi hai, Allah ka azab hoga, na'udhu billah. Then what do you say about the prophets who are tested the most? Yeah? So we cannot judge. So some people are tested because they are closer to Allah and Allah wants to bring them even closer. Yeah, I have heard from many ulama that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for some of us has a station which is very high in Jannah. Very high. But this station cannot be reached by a'mal, by actions, by salah and sawm and zakah and hajj and durood and istighfar. So then how is this person going to attain that position? Through trials and tribulations. There's two ways. एक बंदा अमाल करता है अल्लाह से करीब हो जाता है और एक है अल्लाह मुसीबतें भेजते हैं यहाँ तक कि वो बंदा वो बंदी अल्लाह से मुकर्रब हो जाते हैं. ये हमेशा याद रखो और इसीलिए मैंने पहले उसको बयान कर दिया तो आपको ज़हन नशीन हो जाए कि क्यों अल्लाह मुसीबतें भेजते हैं. So it's very, very important. The second thing, after we've understood why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sends trials and tribulations, is the topic of tawakkul. Whatever you're going through, whether it's black magic, whether it's jinn possession, whether it's nazar and evil eye, whether it's depression, your business has gone down, whether it's divorce, whether you've lost a child or you can't have children, whether you've lost your house, whether you lost your mother or your father or your grandmother or your wife, whatever you're going through, the first and foremost thing you need to look at is up there. Yeah? You don't look at the imam of the masjid. You don't look at your friends. You don't look at your family. You look up there. And those people who have relied on Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Allah cleared the paths and made it easy for them. Have you forgotten the story of Musa alayhi salam? These were Anbiya. Even they had to rely on Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. They did not have an easy visa to Jannah. They did not have everything made easy for them. They also had problems, trials and tribulations. Very quickly, the story of Musa alayhi salam when he was running away from Fir'aun with his people and he landed at the Red Sea. What did he do? What did Musa alayhi salam do? Turn to Pir Sahib? Turn to the worshipping of the grave? Turn to his ta'weez? No, Musa alayhi salam turned to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and after beseeching Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Allah performed a miracle through Musa alayhi salam, and the sea was cleared and a path was made. And when Fir'aun saw this, he said, still through his naivety and arrogance, see, I am God. This sea has opened up for me. As soon as he stepped in the sea, the story is famous, what happened? He drowned. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala drowned Fir'aun because his time had come to an end. He gave him chances after chances after chances. So Musa alayhi salam also came to a dead end. But he raised his hands, he made dua to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Allah opened the paths. In the like manner, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, when you are at a dead end, when you think nobody can help me, main to barbad ho gaya, main to barbad ho gayi, lift your hands, lift that musalla, pray 2 rakats, and Allah will open ways for you, just like He opened for Musa alayhi salam. Lekin uske liye tawakkul chahiye. Tawakkul, a word which doesn't even exist. Barely nowadays. We rarely hear it from the mimbers. We rarely hear ulama talk about it. We rarely hear it in the books. People don't talk about tawakkul. Yeah? Because we don't have tawakkul. We don't have reliance on Allah. We rely on other things. And this is why we see nowadays insurance for everything. Yeah? Car insurance is a necessity. House insurance, life insurance, death insurance, even pet and dog insurance. What is insurance? Is when your eyes are not there. Ghar jal jayega to kya hoga? Biwi mar jayegi to kya hoga? Kya hoga, kya hoga, kya hoga? That's the only word on the tongue of the Muslims today, because the tawakkul is gone. There is no reliance on Allah. We pray salah, we read Quran, robotic fashion, parrot fashion. And that's all it is. Dil mein kuch nahi. But those people who have had tawakkul in the past, who relied on Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala was the only one they needed. They did not need anybody. And there's different levels of tawakkul. There is the tawakkul of the Anbiya and the Sahaba, 100% tawakkul, or as I like to call it, 110% tawakkul. That you don't ask anything from anybody. It's famous, isn't it, when the Sahaba were traveling on their camels and horses and their whip would fall. They would not say to this brother, pass my whip, khud utha dete. They would pick it themselves because they believed that was against tawakkul. Itna tawakkul. Yeah? If something falls down, kisi ko nahi kehte, ki utha lo. That's the first level of tawakkul. Maybe there's people in this day and age, somewhere in the world, somewhere in the UK, who have that tawakkul, mashallah. The second level of tawakkul is what we need to build to. Is that you rely on things, but you know Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the one that really helps you. For example, a person is ill. He goes to the doctor. Doctor ko jana haram nahi hai. Pharmacy mein jana haram nahi hai. Dawa lo. Lekin goli shifa nahi deti. Shifa dene wala Allah hai. Both a balance. And number 3 is the incorrect tawakkul, that a person takes the paracetamol, takes the ibuprofen, goli shifa. He's completely forgotten Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Yeah? Like an example I always give, 2 people have a headache. Person X and person Y. Both took a paracetamol, both same level of pain. Person X got cured, his headache went. Person Y, his headache didn't go. Why? Why did one get cured and the other one didn't? Because Allah's will. Okay? But from what I just said, why do you think one person got cured and one person didn't get cured? He didn't believe that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala cures. Person X took the paracetamol but knew shifa dene wala upar hai. Person Y took the paracetamol will get me better. So Allah ne sabak sikhaya. Hazar goli lo, your headache won't go away. Shifa dene wala main hu. That's what we need to remember. Whatever you're going through, and this is why I mentioned this as an introduction, it's very important your reliance is on Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So even the topics we're talking about today, it's not Pir Sahib who cures, it's not the Taweez who cures, it's not even the Ruqya and the Raqi who cures, it's not the Shaykh or the Maulana who cures, only Allah who cures. Yes, sab cheeze zarai hai, asbab hai, they are the means. Yeah, they are the means. I have travelled from Blackburn here today to Birmingham. My car did not bring me. I came in my car. But really, Allah brought me. Allah nahi chahte ke bayan mat ho. Nahi hoga. It's very, very important और ये चीजें बिल्कुल कल अदम है आजकल, कोई बयान नहीं करता. I can't remember the last time somebody talked about this. Yeah? MashaAllah, हमारे तबलीग वल जमात वाले बयान करते हैं, and it's very important when they talk about the stories of the knife of Ibrahim alayhi salam is meant to cut and he didn't cut Ismail alayhi salam, the fire is meant to burn. We think these are petty, बयान करते रहते हैं, लेकिन यही तवक्कुल है. वो बार बार दोहराना है ना, it's because the tawakkul isn't fixed yet. There's a famous verse in the Quran which every single ala kulli shay'in qadir. Wallahu ala kulli shay'in qadir. Anybody know what it means? Allah is in control of everything. Bar bar sunte hai na? We say Allah does everything. Allah controls everything. Allah is competent over all things. Lekin sirf zuban mein. It's not in here. If it was, then all of us wouldn't be running after the dunya. We wouldn't be running after money. पैसे पैसे जब तक 6 0 ना हो बैंक अकाउंट में, बच्चे गरीब हो जाएंगे, बीवी भिखारी हो जाएगी. Until there's not 6 zeros in our bank account, because we've forgotten Razzaq is Allah. रोजी देने वाला अल्लाह है. रोजी देने वाला अल्लाह है. If I was to say everybody were at our east today, this is what you need to write in. Yeah? जिसको लिखना हो लिख लो. Get a paper and write Wallahu ala kulli shay'in qadir, and every morning read it. It's the greatest ta'weez in the world. All your problems will go away. For those who believe Allah is in control of everything. And obviously you've got to take it carefully. It doesn't mean Monday to give you resignation. Allah's in control. Yeah? Or then other people will look, they'll be queues at the job center. Yeah? Seeking benefits. Elections are coming as well. So if Labour win, it might help you. But this is the wrong sort of tawakkul. You leave your job, take all your money out, masjid mein de do. No. There has to be a balance. Tawakkul bhi ho, kaam bhi ho. बच्चे के हुकूक भी हो, बीवी के हुकूक भी हो. So it's very, very important we understand these things. Last example I'll give. We all know before you go to sleep, you should pray Ayatul Kursi. Yeah? Everybody knows Ayatul Kursi. Even the young children here know Ayatul Kursi. But one person prays the Ayatul Kursi every night, but still gets nightmares, still has panic attacks, can't sleep. What's the solution? Where's the problem? Anybody know? What would you say? Good. Simple answer is nothing philosophical. Lambi sochne ki baat nahi hai. He doesn't believe in it. बस पढ़ता है, मम told me, मौलवी साहब कहते हैं, इमाम कहते हैं, बस पढ़ लिया. No bharosa, no tawakkul, paro, no paro, doesn't make a difference to me. But then there's another person who prays Ayatul Kursi for 20, 30, 40 years, never had a nightmare, never had a scary dream, because he believed that the Prophet ﷺ said, if you pray Ayatul Kursi, you'll be protected from shaitan. Do you understand why I'm covering these topics? Because it'll save me half my bayan if everybody understood this. Can I go home? Honestly, there is no need for the rest of the bayan for those who've understood these 10-15 minutes. Because there are things you and I are doing, and especially our mothers and sisters, when it comes to wazifas and kitabs and surahs, lambi chori wazifa, but there's no difference, there's no change. Because the tawakkul's gone down, yaqeen's gone down, it's parrot fashion. Yes, we're all human, it becomes robotic. But then sometimes you need a boost. You need to boost your tawakkul. You need to charge that battery to 100%. So it's very, very important we understand these things. Now the first topic is evil eye. जो हमारी जुबान में नजर उसको कहते हैं, अरबी में उसको आइन, we call it ain, which means eye, and commonly known as evil eye. So, when it comes to these topics, there are many people, many Muslim brothers and sisters, some of whom I've met, you will have met, discussions on the bus, in the offices, at home. ये कुछ नहीं होता, ये नजर, ये जादू सब बकवास है. There's Muslim brothers and sisters who say that. So then they need to provide proof. In Islam, everything has proof. Yeah? जो कहता है खुदा है उसकी दलील चाहिए, जो कहता है खुदा नहीं है उसकी दलील चाहिए. Same with evil eye. Everything in Islam is based on Quran and Hadith. If you don't have the answer, I don't have the answer is there. You just need to find it. Nobody knows everything. So जो कहते हैं नजर नहीं है, ये मनगढ़ंत चीजें हैं, ये बनाई हुई है, ये अगलों के अफसाने हैं, तो फिर उसके लिए दलील चाहिए कि नहीं है. हम कहते हैं है, कुरान कहता है, हदीस कहती है कि ये चीज है, तो उसकी दलील हम पहले पेश करते हैं. तो फिर ये बात आपको जहन नशीन हो जाए कि ये चीजें है. Because if there's brothers sitting here or sisters who are still skeptical, come to this bayan, don't know what this guy is talking about, is he right, is he wrong, and we will provide the proof. And if you think these proofs are wrong, then feel free to counteract them. Because the topic is controversial, is more and more Muslims, and I'll be honest, more and more men are denying these topics. So, if we open the Quran and look in Surah Yusuf, the Quran says, وَقَالَ يَا بَنِيَّ لَا تَدْخُلُوا مِنْ بَابٍ وَاحِدٍ وَادْخُلُوا مِنْ أَبْوَابٍ مُتَفَرِّقَةٍ. In Surah Yusuf, when Yaqub alayhi salam was sending his sons to Egypt, he said to them, don't go through one bab, one door or entrance, you could call it. Enter from different entrances or different doors. Why? That's the Quran. The commentators on the Quran unanimously agree. And we all know that Yusuf alayhi salam was very handsome. He was very handsome, mashallah. But what's not often heard is his brothers, the 11 brothers, were also very handsome. Maybe not as handsome as Yusuf alayhi salam, but they were also beautiful, handsome. So because of this, Yaqub alayhi salam was a prophet, he was wise. He knew that if all my sons who are beautiful and handsome go through one entrance, then people will cast evil glances on them. So this ayat is proof from the commentators of hadith that evil eye exists. That's the first verse. The second verse, وَإِن يَكَادُ الَّذِينَ كَفَرُوا لَيُزْلِقُونَكَ بِأَبْصَارِهِمْ لَمَّا سَمِعُوا الذِّكْرَ وَيَقُولُونَ إِنَّهُ لَمَجْنُونَ. That the verse means it's very close. The time is near when the non-Muslims will لَيُزْلِقُونَكَ make you slip, or you can say cast evil glances on you. لَمَّا سَمِعُوا الذِّكْرَ. Dhikr normally means remembrance, here it means Quran. When they listen to the Quran, وَيَقُولُونَ إِنَّهُ لَمَجْنُونَ, and they will say, he's a madman. Ibn Abbas radiallahu anhu and Mujahid rahmatullah alayh and many others say the word la yuzliqunaka here means to cast evil glances. That the non-Muslims will cast evil glances, buri nazar dalenge on the Prophet ﷺ when they hear the Quran. These two verses prove from the Quran that evil eye exists. Now we will take a look into the hadith of the Prophet ﷺ. The first hadith from Abu Hurairah, that the Prophet ﷺ mentioned al-aynu haqqun wa naha anil washm. This hadith is mentioned in Ibn Kathir. That evil eye is a reality. Al-aynu haqqun wa naha anil washm, and he forbade from tattoos. So this is a hadith, and it's quite clear that evil eye is real. The next hadith, Aisha radiallahu anha narrates from the Prophet ﷺ, Ista'idhu billahi min al-ayn, fa inna al-ayna haqqun. This hadith is mentioned in Bukhari. That seek refuge in Allah from evil eye. Fa inna al-ayna haqqun. Evil eye is real. I'm going to stop here for a moment. The Prophet ﷺ has said, seek refuge in Allah from evil eye. Evil eye is real. So the Prophet ﷺ would have been sat in a masjid like this, in a halaqah like this. Who was he talking to? He was talking to the Sahaba. The men around the Messenger ﷺ were the Sahaba. Who were the Sahaba? What do we know about them? Come on, I'm going to ask one of the kids. What do you know about the Sahaba? Companions of the Prophet ﷺ. What sort of people were they? Pious. What sort of piety? 50% like us, 25% low battery? What sort of people? Very pious. Akmalun nasi imana. Sawam, Qawwam. These people have perfected their iman. They weren't low battery like me and you. They weren't 50%. They weren't part-timers or half-timers. Come to masjid, don't come for a week. Problem comes, come and sit in the first row for make long dua. And good times, leave the masjid. Part-timers. These people were akmalun nasi iman, and they had perfected their iman. They were sawam, regular in fasting. Qawwam, regular in qiyamul layl. These were people like Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu, Umar radiallahu anhu, Uthman radiallahu anhu, Ali radiallahu anhu. Why am I saying this? These are the people that the Prophet ﷺ said, Ista'idhu billahi min al-ayn. O Abu Bakr, O Umar, seek refuge in Allah from evil eye. कहने का मतलब उनके अंदर कुछ कमी थी. Was that iman low? Abu Bakr, you've not done enough azkar, you've not read enough du'as. Increase. Despite the perfection of iman, they were still told, Ista'idhu billahi min al-ayn. This shows the severity, the reality of evil eye. That even the greatest of Sahaba were told, make sure you're doing what you need to, your azkar and du'as. Why did I stop here? It's because there are people, another group of Muslims, not deny evil eye, they believe in it. लेकिन मैं तो कुरान पढ़ता हूँ, मैं तो जमात में जाता हूँ, हर साल 40 दिन, मैं तो बयानात में रहता हूँ, मेरी तो दाढ़ी है. Yeah, I'm a regular person, I'm practicing Muslim, I'm a practicing sister, I wear the hijab, I adorn the beard, I follow the sunnah of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, as though Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu, Umar radiallahu anhu didn't. They did as well. But still the Prophet ﷺ said, seek refuge in Allah from evil eye. So जो लोग कहते हैं ना, हम मंजिल पढ़ते हैं, हम दुआ करते हैं, हम जिक्र करते हैं, फिर भी नजर तुमको लग सकती है. ये हदीस दलील है. Yeah, so the second category who do believe, but I'm immune to it. The third hadith from Ibn Abbas radiallahu anhu, that the Prophet ﷺ said, العين حق ولو كان شيء سابق القدر سبقه العين وإذا استغسلتم فاغسلوا. Ibn Abbas radiallahu anhu mentions that the Prophet ﷺ said, evil eye is real. العين حق. Time and time these same words are common. العين حق ولو كان شيء سابق القدر. If there were to be a thing that overcomes, overtakes taqdeer, yeah, predestination, sabaqahul ayn. Now this hadith needs interpretation. So the Prophet ﷺ said that evil eye is a reality, but if there were to be something, there isn't though. If there were to be something that overtakes, overrides, overcomes taqdeer, Allah's predestination, फिर वो चीज ayn nazar hoti. In simple terms, we know 50,000 years before the creation of the heaven and the earth, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wrote every single thing down. Who's going to be born, when they're going to die, who's going to get married, how many children they have, how much money you'll earn, what you're going to eat. Today on the 7th of December, you're going to be in Masjid al-Umar listening to my talk. It was written. Everything's written, that will not change. But the Prophet ﷺ is saying कि नजर ऐसी चीज है खतरनाक, अगर तकदीर को भी सबकत करती, अगर तो वो चीज नजर होती, but it's not. What happens is what's written in taqdeer. Number two, we could say, is ayn and nazar affects people. I'll give you an example. Somebody's death is written at the age of 70. Yeah? But then this person gets heavy nazar. Someone casts evil glances on him, and it's really bad. We could say that through illnesses or problems, his death will come earlier. Yeah? His death will be caused by that. And the proof of that is the next hadith which I'm going to read. أكثر من يموت من أمتي بعد كتاب الله وقضائه وقدره بالأنفس يعني بالعين. That the majority of my ummah, the Prophet ﷺ said, my nation, that will die بعد كتاب الله. كتاب الله normally means Quran, here it means Lawh Mahfuz, again taqdeer. Taqdeer के बाद अक्सर जो मरेंगे, after taqdeer, يعني بالأنفس بالعين, will be because of evil eye. You understand? He explains the first hadith that evil eye can cause death. It can bring a man early to his grave. And this is why some scholars mention, some people think it's hadith, it's not hadith, that if 1/3 of the people in this cemetery, any cemetery where somebody said they died from evil eye, it would be true. Some people say 1/3, some people say half, meaning a lot of people die from evil eye. What does that mean though? That tonight you'll leave the program and you'll get run over by a bus? Not necessarily. It means through illnesses, through health conditions, through cancer sometimes, through TB, through diabetes, through major sicknesses, illnesses you have, can be caused by nazar and ayn, which we'll explain later. But for now, sometimes a person has a severe health condition, but then he gets nazar. All that does is escalate the issue. So किसी को कैंसर है 10 साल में मरेगा, लेकिन उसको भारी नजर भी है, तो फिर 5 साल में मर जाता है, because both things clash and escalate the issue. This is the balance of mental health as well and jinn jadoo. Yeah? Unfortunately, we have extremes. People who say everything's mental health, nothing jinn jadoo. And then there's some people, everything's jinn jadoo, mental health don't exist. But the balance is here, dono here. Mental health exists, certain issues exist, jinn jadoo exists, and sometimes they both clash and the issues escalate. Hence, it's always good to look both medically, NHS, and go to somebody or do yourself ruqya, which we'll explain later. Now, on the topic of evil eye, many people ask about this word hasad. Yeah, when evil eye, nazar is mentioned, ayn is mentioned, people talk about hasad. So what is hasad and which is worse? Does hasad exist? Hasad we can best translate as envy. Yeah? Somebody that envies you. And nazar is basically, you look at something, so somebody's got a nice new coat, somebody's bought new shoes, new car, and you look at it and you didn't say mashallah, barakallah, etc. And that's nazar done. So the cure is simple, which we'll explain in detail later, but it's as simple as that. A wife can put on her own husband bought a new cardigan, you didn't say mashallah. Husband can put on his wife, parents can put on their children, children can put on their parents. You can put on yourself. How can you put on yourself? You look in the mirror, yeah? You had a nice new haircut, trimmed your beard a bit, gelled it up, oiled it, spiked up hair. Oh, you're looking quite good today. Yeah, Saturday night, forget the bayan and I'll go somewhere else. Yeah, we watch the boxing instead. So, you can put nazar on yourself. If you don't pray the du'as for looking in the mirror, mashallah, barakallah. A person can put nazar on himself. So, hasad though is far worse. With ayn, with nazar, it's very general. You can go to a supermarket, hundreds of people put nazar on you. You can go to a wedding, people who don't know you. Hasad is more targeted, more intended. Someone's got it in for you. And the proof that is worse is Surah Falaq, yeah, in the Quran. What's the last ayah of Surah Falaq? وَمِن شَرِّ حَاسِدٍ إِذَا حَسَدٍ. The Quran did not say وَمِن شَرِّ عَيٍّ, yeah, the person who casts evil eye. Hasidin. You are seeking refuge from the one who envies, because envy is more targeted. It'll be someone who's close to you, somebody who knows you. Now, why has he bought a new house? Why has he got a second house? Why has he moved to a posh area of Birmingham? Is there any posh areas in Birmingham? Which area, sorry? Solihull, yeah? So somebody's moved to Solihull, somebody bought 1 house, 2 houses, 3 houses, somebody got promotion at work, somebody bought a new car, etc. So this is more intended, whereas nazar is is general, anybody can put it. You can come to the masjid, put it on me, inshallah you won't, I could put it on you. But hasad is more intended on what causes harm. And those are the hadith which mention about taking to the grave, etc. Another question people ask is, can my own family put nazar on me? Yeah? Or could nazar kill me? Hassan al-Basri rahmatullahi was also asked this question about ayn, nazar killing people. Yeah? Can someone's nazar eyes be, evil glances be so bad, so dangerous that they could kill a person? So the answer he gave was from the Quran, and the best answers are from the Quran and Hadith. Open Surah Yusuf, when the brothers of Yusuf were jealous, were envying Yusuf alayhi salam, that our father loves Yusuf more than he loves us, and then had a little meeting, and what was the first mashwara that was given? Uqtulu Yusuf, kill him! Take him off the face of this earth. And then our dad will never look at Yusuf again. They were his brothers. Yeah, this was a family of prophets. Father's a prophet, brother became a prophet. But at that time, because of extreme jealousy, the mashwara given was Uqtulu Yusuf, kill Yusuf. And that also proves that your own family members could be jealous about you. So, it's very important we understand the severity of evil eye. And this is why I put it first in the topics. Because many of you came here, brothers and sisters, wanting me to talk about black magic and voodoo dolls and scary things and supernatural things and do a few magic tricks. But that's not going to happen. We'll talk about it later, because people love talking about black magic. Because they think things happen which are normal. But really, the deadly disease in our community is evil eye. Because evil eye, anybody can do. 100 people could do on you. 50 people could do on you. You go to a wedding, you wear something nice, especially mothers and sisters complain a lot after weddings. That they've got ill, constantly getting headaches, they've got other symptoms. And a lot of that could be nazar, could be evil eye. But it's not paid attention to because we don't pray manzil, we don't pray azkar, we don't do du'as, we don't have protection, what we call protection. Yeah? And to explain what I mean by protection is that you go out in the masjid today with a helmet, metal armor, is spiritual protection. So outside is quite cold, yeah? There are some people who walk to the masjid today, didn't wear a coat, maybe came in a t-shirt, joggy bottoms or 3/4 pants, but they won't get ill. Yeah, they'll go home, probably spend a few hours talking to their friends, they won't get a cold, they won't get a flu. And then there'll be someone else who came with a scarf and a woolly hat and a big coat and woolly socks on and spent 10 minutes outside, but then Monday he's got a cold or a flu. Why? Because his immune system is weak. Yeah, the first guy, his immune system is strong. He has his vitamin C, he has his 5 a day, he drinks plenty of water, he's a healthy guy. So he comes out with a t-shirt, like a macho man, but he doesn't get ill. Whereas somebody else, whose immune system is weak, he wears everything, but he still gets ill very quickly because he doesn't have enough vitamins. Why am I giving this example? Spiritually, it's the same thing. There are people sitting here who read one para of Quran, one juz Quran, some people read 2, 3, pray the Yasin, and the Surah Mulk, and the Waqi, and the Surah Kaf, and hundreds of durood, and the third and fourth kalima, and istighfar. Their spiritual immune system is boosted up. They pray manzil, they do Hizbul Azam, Munajat Maqbool, and all these wazifa books you get. It's very good. I'm not being negative towards them. Some of these du'as are the protection. Yeah? So, if they get nazar, if they go to a supermarket, a wedding or a funeral, and people put nazar, what's the name? Agar hota 10%, 20%, they get affected. Because he's got that protection. Remember this word, protection. There's another guy or a sister who goes to a wedding, but she's on and off with Quran, on and off with hijab, doesn't pray regular azkar and du'as, etc. Somebody casts one glance, and boom, she's got evil eye. Because the protection is low, the immune system is weak, the spiritual immune system. So, how do we stop evil eye? The first thing is what I've already mentioned, is saying MashaAllah, Barakallah, when you see something good. So it's not just look. Ayn nazar means okay, eyes. Evil eye can also be casted by listening. Somebody read Quran, a nazam or nasheed, good voice, boy or girl. You didn't say, MashaAllah, Barakallah, nazar. I've come to your house, I can smell biryani, and I've said, oh, nice biryani. And then the pot got burnt. Simple example. For example, nazar on it. Yeah, you taste a nice cake or a biscuit, and you said, that's a nice cake, and you didn't say, MashaAllah, Barakallah, and then that person had diarrhea or vomiting. Classic example of nazar and ayn. Just learn to say MashaAllah, Barakallah. Number two, if you feel you envy someone, yeah, these are spiritual diseases. We're all human. Some people have pride, some people have arrogance, some people have anger, some people have hasad. Yes, a spiritual disease. So you need to, if it's one person, give gifts to them. Slowly, slowly that hasad, jealousy will burn. And sometimes people say, well, I don't want to, it's not from the heart. Yeah? Start giving. Eventually you'll build on it. They will be from the heart. Make dua for that person. If you can't afford to buy a gift for them, little or large, make dua for that person. Then understand the consequences of hasad. Hadith mentions, إِنَّ الْحَسَدَ يَأْكُلُ الْحَسَنَاتِ كَمَا تَأْكُلُ النَّارُ الْحَطَبَ. Jealousy, envy eats your good deeds, your zakah, your hajj, your fasting, your beard you're wearing, the sunnah, your hijab, your good deeds, your durood, your istighfar, your Quran. It's eating them like كَمَا تَأْكُلُ النَّارُ الْحَطَبَ. Just like fire burns wood. Yeah? We've seen how if you see a fire and you throw wood in, you choose it in seconds. When you are jealous of a brother or a sister, and that jealousy is burning your good deeds. You're coming to the masjid, you're praying Quran, you're going for Umrah every year, it's wiped away. Because you've got a spiritual disease called envy, jealousy, hasad. So understand the consequences. The next thing is be content with Allah's decree. Yeah? You drive a Micra, he drive a Mercedes, be happy with it, that's what Allah wanted. You live in a flat, they live in a mansion, that's what Allah wanted. You work in Tesco, they're working for solicitors, or a doctor, or a mechanic. That's what Allah wanted. Yeah? Not everybody can be a doctor, not everybody can be a solicitor. Somebody has to clean the streets, somebody has to stock the shelves in Tesco. So understand Allah's taqdeer is very fair. Because you're not a jealous person, I always say. You're not arguing with me, not jealous of him or her. You're arguing with Allah's taqdeer. Why does he drive a BMW? Why do they have a nice house? Why couldn't Allah give it to me? Indirectly, that's what you're saying. And the last thing is to spread salam. One way of saving yourself from evil eye, spread salam, talk to each other. Now there are certain symptoms of evil eye, which we'll go through very quickly. The list is long, but people tend to ask, have I got nazar? Now there'll be symptoms of black magic as well, but I'm going to explain a rule, a fine line, that with these symptoms, some of these things are very common. Yeah, when I start you'll understand, like headaches and yawning and tiredness. Yeah, it's Saturday night, it's hitting 9 o'clock, most people will be tired, you've been working all week, yeah? Some of you will be hungry waiting for your Saturday night takeaway, so that's normal. So I don't want you to hold on to this list. I've got everything in this list. I've got heavy nazar. There's a fine line. So everybody gets a headache at one point in their life. That doesn't mean you've got nazar. It's constant headaches, it's heavy migraines, it's yawning after 7, 8, 9 hours of sleep. Do you understand what I said about fine line? So don't hold me to it and say, once I've said this, definitely I've got nazar, my whole khandan's got nazar, etc. So number one is constant yawning. But you don't want to sleep as well. So you understand what I said? Somebody's yawning, they get 7, 8, 9 hours sleep, which is enough for an adult. But then when they go to sleep, they don't feel sleepy. That's a sign of nazar. Constant burping, but you don't eat a lot. So you've not eating anything yet, and you're burping. Hot and cold flushes for no reason, feeling tight-chested. Insomnia, you can't sleep. A lot of waswasa. So again, waswasa is a fine one. Every single person, every Muslim gets waswasa. Yeah? Shaitan comes to everybody. Before today's program, he probably came to you and said, just listen at home. Just listen online. Forget going to the mosque. That's waswasa. Heavy waswasa, dozens of waswasa, hundreds and thousands, then you might have nazar. Putting on weight without necessarily eating more. Again, headaches, heavy headaches, migraines, irregular. Hair loss. Darkening under the eyes. Permanent headaches. Constantly you have headaches. Becoming pale. Babies, so with younger children and babies constantly crying or not having milk or not having food. And seeing ants or insects. Again, everybody has the one spider in the bathroom or the kitchen. That doesn't mean you've got a lot of insects in multitudes coming in the house. So, that's the end of evil eye. There have been some slips passed around, I think, inshallah, in the brothers and the sisters. If you have any questions relevant to the topic so far, feel free to write them down. Before we finish, inshallah, we will collect them in. So, the next topic is black magic and jadoo. So again, the first thing we need to understand, does black magic exist? If it exists, what's the proof of it? If it doesn't exist, what's the proof of it? So, the biggest proof that black magic exists is, let me ask you, I've talked enough. Who do we know that had black magic? Who? Who had black magic upon him? Which is the biggest proof that black magic is not a lie, and it's not false, and it's not fabricated. Nobody knows? The Prophet ﷺ had black magic performed on him. Surah Falaq, Surah Nas, the last two surahs of the Quran came down because of this. And the Prophet ﷺ had black magic on him for 6 months. Some ulama say 1 year, but we'll go with the lesser amount. 6 months, and he didn't even know. Why am I saying this? Because many people say, well, I went to this Maulana, I've been having marital problems for 10 years. He says there's black magic. I don't really believe it. I've been married 10 years. I don't think it's true. The Prophet ﷺ also had on him and he didn't know. Jibreel alayhi salam was coming down. He had direct connection with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Could Allah not tell him? Maybe Allah did that for this reason. To show you and I that the Prophet ﷺ was a human. Muhammadullah Rasul. He also had black magic and he didn't know. So you can have black magic. Somebody sitting here might have it. A brother or a sister, somebody listening at home, but you don't know. Because you've not dealt with it. So the first proof of black magic is the Prophet ﷺ himself had black magic. And just briefly mentioning what happened to the Prophet ﷺ, it was done by a Jewish man, Labid bin Asim. He took hair from the comb of the Prophet ﷺ and a date skin from a tree, and eventually they found them in a well which had date palms like the devil's horn. And why was the black magic done upon the Prophet ﷺ? Is there were numerous symptoms he had. One of them was he kept on thinking he needed ghusl. Yeah? So after marital relations, he kept on thinking he would do ghusl, but then he'd think, no, I need to do ghusl again. So waswasa. You know what I mentioned earlier about waswasa? Even happened to the Prophet ﷺ. So it's very important that we believe in these things. And the verse in the Quran, which I mentioned in the khutbah part of it, وَاتَّبَعُ مَا تَتْلُو الشَّيَاطِينُ عَلَى مُلْكِ سُلَيْمَانِ. It's a long verse, I don't want to translate the whole verse, but that verse talks about sihr, jadoo. And the black magic, the jadoo that's mentioned is فَيَتَعَلَّمُونَ مِنْهُمَا مَا يُفَرِّقُونَ بِهِ بَيْنَ الْمَرْءِ وَزَوْجِهِ. That they would learn from the two angels مَا يُفَرِّقُونَ بِهِ بَيْنَ الْمَرْءِ وَزَوْجِهِ, how to separate husband and wife. Yeah? So again, there's a fine line. Not everybody who has marriage problems got jadoo. But some people do, because the Quran says that they learned how to separate husband and wife. The biggest form of jadoo is separating husband and wife. Not every argument. Yeah? Some, like I said, the OCD people, everything's jadoo, spilled milk, jadoo. You have a flat tire, jadoo. You have an argument at home, jadoo. No. But it does exist. You have to have the balance. So the extremists again, everything's jadoo, and then the extreme is nothing is jadoo. It does exist and it can cause divorce. Jadoo is of two types, black magic. The first is takhayili. Yeah? From the word takhayyul, which means imaginative. So it's not really there, it's cast on your mind. And the best example of this is the time of Musa alayhi salam, when the magicians were called for a contest to compete with Musa alayhi salam. Fir'aun said, outdo him. They all threw their ropes and they became snakes. But it wasn't really snakes. It was just in the imagination. Everyone perceived them to be snakes. That's takhyil. And reality is the one that actually affects you. Hakiki. Yeah? From the word haq, reality. So that's the one that separates husband and wife. That's the one that causes fertility issue. That's the one that causes the brother not to get married, causes the sister not to have kids. That's the one that causes arguments and feuds and separation in families. So jadoo can cause a lot of things. People think it's just husband and wife. It can even cause employment issues. Brother can't get a job, or sister gets a job but she can't stick in the job. 2-3 months, change job. It can cause insomnia. It can cause issues in marriage proposals. It can cause infertility issues, illnesses, blinding of people, junoon, pagalpana, blood coming out from random places, even in the house. People have seen blood on their walls, blood on their food. It happens. And in some cases, again, not everybody, it can even cause you to sin. So it could cause somebody to gamble. Jadoo's done that, he wastes his money. Fornication, alcohol. Yeah, but that's it. Not everybody in the club and the pub, I'm saying, it has got jadoo on them, or in the bookies. Some people are just sinful. Or sometimes they've got this habit of drugs and alcohol, then jadoo's done, and it escalates, it makes the issue worse. So it's very important to understand these things. What causes jadoo, what is jadoo, and what isn't. Now there's one point I'm going to mention here, is there are some people, even Muslims, who do perform black magic. There are magicians and witches, and they deceive our brothers and sisters out there, saying, yes, it's taweez here, or it's white magic. Ever heard of it? No? That's good. I'd be worried if you hadn't heard of it. So, white magic is the same thing. Eggs of the same basket. There's no such thing as white. It's just to play it down a bit. You know, the black magics, witches and shaitan. This is good magic, white magic. It's all the same. There's no such thing really. But some people play it down. Say, oh, you want your husband back? I'll do white magic. Just give me £500. Your daughter can't have babies? I'll do white magic. And then people think they're doing something good. Because black magic, jadoo khatarnak hai, kala jadoo. But it's all the same. Now, with the symptoms again, there's many symptoms. Yeah? And like I mentioned, the Prophet ﷺ had certain symptoms. Many of the Salafi Salihin, the pious predecessors, like the teacher of Imam Bukhari, Yahya ibn Ma'in rahmatullah alayhi, he would say when he used to enter his house, yeah, he would recite Ayatul Kursi 5 times. 5 times, every time he would enter. Sometimes he'd keep repeating until he would hear a voice from the unseen say, that's enough. That's enough. What do you think the voice was? Jinn. Very good. The voice would be a jinn, and that's why he would recite it, because when he entered his house, he would feel a heavy presence. So he started reciting Ayatul Kursi. A fine point I want to make here. Is there any hadith which says when you enter your house, pray Ayatul Kursi 5 times? Anybody ever heard of it? No. But the rule, the basis of Ayatul Kursi is there, isn't it? Before you sleep, after Salah. Ayatul Kursi is proven as protection. Why am I mentioning this point? Is that there's some orthodox brothers and sisters who go too PC into what Islam says and doesn't say. Ayatul Kursi is there. The rule of Ayatul Kursi as protection. So if I sat here today on this chair and I felt a heavy presence, and before the bayan I read Ayatul Kursi, I told you to say Ayatul Kursi, and some brother comes out with bid'ah. Why didn't you tell us to pray Ayatul Kursi? Because you don't know what happened to me. Just like you don't know what happened to Imam Bukhari's teacher. But the basis of Ayatul Kursi is there. Sometimes brothers and sisters recite certain things at certain times because it helps them. That's not bid'ah. Yeah? Ayatul Kursi is part of the Quran. How can it be bid'ah? You have to say it's farz and you have to. Imam Bukhari's teacher didn't say you have to. He just felt the presence. So if this brother reads it when he goes home, this brother reads it when he comes to the masjid, this brother reads it in the car, maybe he wants to have protection before he travels. Nothing wrong with it. That's Ayatul Kursi. There's certain other things like charcoal, focals, manzil, etc. The basis of it is all Quran. People read it when they feel something. There's another scholar by the name of Abu Sulaiman Darani Rahmatullah alayhi. So I'm giving examples how the Prophet ﷺ and those after him also had sihr, jinn issues, jadoo issues. He would say, when I stand at night for tahajjud, qiyamul layl, shaitan would come in front of me in the form of a snake. In the form of a snake. And sometimes he would come up my thobe. So if he's wearing a loose thobe like this, it would come up his thobe. To scare him, to stop him from tahajjud. Do you understand? So sometimes jinn will come to me and you and mothers and sisters to scare you, to stop you from ibadah. You might have met one on the way today. Yeah? They come to you and sometimes they can come in different forms. Yeah? Snakes and dogs is very common, sometimes cats, sometimes other forms. So the symptoms of black magic, so again, take it with a pinch of salt. It's not for everybody, every case and every scenario. If you have a lot of these, you might want to look into it. So the first and foremost is, like I mentioned, marriage. A person is unable to interact with his wife or husband, have a relationship. You no longer have feelings for each other. Or you had a very good relationship, loving relationship, and it's now gone to extreme hating. You can't stand each other, you can't look at each other. You just talk, you sit in a room together, you're arguing. So then you look at 6 years, 10 years they've been married, you're so good, all of a sudden something's happened. Obstacles or blocks, as we call them in marriage. Somebody can't get married. Same with employment. Somebody just can't get a job. Interview after interview after interview. Holes cut in your garments, your clothes, your hijab, your abaya, your cardigan, your jumper, your sweater. You take them out and they've got holes in random, or bits been cut off, like in the corner here. This bit's been cut off. Pins and needles poked in furniture and walls around the house. Yeah, because these things are used for black magic. Constant headaches and feeling pain in the stomach. Divorce after divorce. So somebody can get married, 6 months divorce. Gets married again, 1 year divorce. Repeated miscarriage. So again, I'm not saying every single case of miscarriage was jadoo or jinn involvement. But 2 miscarriages, 3 miscarriages, 5 miscarriages, you might want to look into it. Constantly feeling sick or vomiting. Somebody who was a practicing brother or practicing sister, from 5 times salah, from wearing the full beard, from wearing the hijab, completely abandoned salah. Shaved the beard off, took the hijab off. So inclination towards sin. Wanting to cry for no reason. Wanting to laugh for no reason. Anger or rage or arguments over petty things in the house. Who moved this? Where's my phone gone? Who took my money? But there's a big argument for 2, 3, 4 hours, all night, or sometimes days, over petty things. Finding dead animals or part of an animal in the house or backyard. It's like a cat or a bird. Because when you do black magic, you slaughter it on the name of shaitan. Yeah, so sometimes you might chuck that into your house. Or finding things like eggshells, broken eggs, lemon, mirch masala on the doorstep, hair, sometimes a bowl of hair. Yeah? Another sign, it could be jadoo, black magic, it could be jinn as well, just jinns living in the house, running or footsteps in the house. So everybody sat downstairs to eat, and you hear footsteps knocking at random, usually at night. With the symptoms, then one other thing which people ask, so I'll answer anyway, is there a symptom that things go missing or are being stolen from the house? Money, jewelry, cash, wedding rings. Sometimes it's not expensive things, it's just things you need, like a cardigan or your socks or underwear. Glasses have been taken. You get it? When you need your glasses, you need your glasses. Every time they go missing, we buy new glasses every week. So do shaitan and jinns steal? What do we think? No? Not guilty? What's the jury saying? Do shaitan, jinns steal? Hadith of Abu Hurairah radiallahu anhu. Abu Hurairah is a famous Sahabi, yeah? The one who narrated the most hadith. The Prophet ﷺ put him in charge of Sadaqah Fitr. Yeah? So one night, a man came to him, and Abu Hurairah radiallahu anhu saw him stealing from the Sadaqah Fitr. So Abu Hurairah said, "What are you doing?" He said, "You know what it is? My family is poor, they need me, I don't have money, and I need this." So Abu Hurairah said, "Fine, don't come again." He went on his way. In the morning, the Prophet ﷺ asked Abu Hurairah that what happened. So he said, "This man came to me and he was stealing, but he said he needed it, so I let him off." The Prophet ﷺ said, "Fine." Second night, same man comes again. And he's stealing again. So Abu Hurairah said, "I told you last night, don't come again." So he goes, "Honestly, last time." Yeah, like we do. "Last time, I won't do it again." It was fine. I don't want to see you here again. So in the morning, the Prophet ﷺ met Abu Hurairah and asked him and said, "What happened to your captive?" And Abu Hurairah said, he said, "It's his last time." He said, "No problem." Third night, the same man comes again and he's stealing. So then he knows Abu Hurairah is going to beat him up. So before anything, he said to Abu Hurairah, "If you let me take this, I will teach you something which will protect you from shaitan." Abu Hurairah thought about it. He said, "Okay, fine." And what did he teach him? Ayatul Kursi, that if you pray this before you sleep, your house, family will be protected from shaitan. Allahu la ilaha illa huwa al-hayyul qayyum, till the end of the verse. In the morning, the Prophet ﷺ met Abu Hurairah radiallahu anhu and asked him, "Abu Hurairah, what happened to your captive?" And Abu Hurairah felt embarrassed because it's the third time he's let him. He said, "Ya Rasulullah, he told me something that if I pray, he will protect me from shaitan and my family." So the Prophet ﷺ asked him, "What was it? What did he teach you?" He said, "He taught me Ayatul Kursi." So the Prophet ﷺ said, "He is a liar, but he has spoken the truth." He is a liar, but he has spoken the truth. That was none other than Iblis. The man who was stealing was Iblis in a human form. So it proves that shaitans and jinns steal because their master, the big one, steals. The little one will definitely steal, yeah? Bad example, but if the dad steals, the kids steal. So, it also proves that Ayatul Kursi will protect you and your family from shaitan and jinn. How many of us pray Ayatul Kursi before we go to sleep? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, quite a few. From tonight, every single brother, every sister listening will pray Ayatul Kursi. If you don't do anything from this bayan, obviously I want something, I want some reward. You pray Ayatul Kursi. So inshallah, Allah give you long life. All those Ayatul Kursi will be in my account. Inshallah, shaitan can't steal that. So, those are the symptoms of black magic and about the stealing. Another interesting thing which people ask is, how is black magic done? So just for information purposes, I'll explain it, not training purposes obviously. You don't go home tonight and become magicians. So the first thing you need to understand is black magic is a contract. Yeah? Just like you have with O2 and Vodafone and Sky and Virgin for your Wi-Fi. If you don't pay, yeah, your Wi-Fi gets cut off. The magician, if it's a man, and the witch, if it's a woman, has a contract with shaitan. So shaitan's top of the pyramid. Yeah? And then comes the magicians. Everybody benefits, that's what I'm explaining. If shaitan's at the top, what does he get? Magician's at the second stage, what does he get? What the witch, what does she get? And then third comes our customers. Yeah? Customers who could be Muslim, non-Muslim, Hindu, Sikh. But I'll give examples like somebody wants this guy to marry his daughter, somebody wants this lady to marry her son, somebody wants to buy this house, so they do black magic. Somebody wants to wreck somebody's life, but this guy's the richest guy in Birmingham, I'm still working in Tesco's, so wreck his life. Whatever the reason is, these are the customers who do black magic, yeah? So, once they've made this contract, everybody is benefiting in the deal. Yeah? Just like O2 benefits and Virgin, and you pay them money and you benefit. How does shaitan benefit? How do you think he benefits? Shaitan's end deal has always been the same since the time of Adam alayhi salam. These guys need to go to hell with her. I'm not going alone. I need company. Whatever he does, yeah, there's a hadith, isn't there? That when husband and wife break off, shaitan gets so happy. Because when a divorce happens, it does naturally affect your deen as well. If there's children involved, whatever's involved, it affects your deen. So shaitan is to destroy the deen. He doesn't care if husband and wife are together or divorced or kids get damaged. Shaitan doesn't care. Shaitan's end goal and only goal is that people come with me into Jahannam. Like the Pied Piper, you follow it. That's his. The magician who gives his soul, sells his soul to the devil, and people come to him and says, do certain acts. How does he benefit? What does he get from the deal? He gets the money. First and foremost, £500, £1,000, 10,000 rupees, whatever India, Pakistan terms, yeah? So he gets money. And our customer at the bottom gets what they want. You break this husband and wife, wreck this guy's business, don't let her have any kids. Yeah? And there's many examples which we don't have time for, but they benefit from that. So black magic does work. Yeah, I've not at any point said it doesn't work, it's all airy-fairy and folk tales. No, black magic works. It worked on the Prophet, didn't it? It separates people and divorces people and people can't have kids. But don't make the issue bigger than it is. I said it works. I did not say it's Khuda and Allah and it's stronger than Allah or it's stronger than Quran and it's stronger than what you're praying and doing and your salah and so on. Quran is stronger and Allah is definitely stronger than any shaitan, jinn, iblis, black magic, magician, grave worshippers, devil worshippers, Freemason. Allah is stronger than all of them and Allah can break it. You just need to go to the right place for the right people, which we'll come on to. So that's how black magic works, yeah? That's the deal, the contract. Everybody's benefiting, yeah? You've understood that. Now what sort of things do they do? What sort of rituals do they do? Like I said, it's for information purposes only. Sometimes they put the Quran on the floor, they'll wear it onto their sandals or slippers and go to the toilet with the Quran on. Sometimes they use Quranic verses and they write it with blood. So, quick example, that verse I keep mentioning, they would learn how to separate husband and wife. So magician would write that verse with blood, or urine, or whatever, feces, whatever, and they will misuse that verse to cause the separation between husband and wife. So they will take things out of context, in other words. They'll take certain verses of the Quran and sometimes write them backwards. You know these things you heard in the 80s and 90s about Freemasons, Baptist, could be true. Could be. Yeah, because they do write verses backwards. These things about backwards could work. Sometimes they write Quranic verses under their shoes and slippers and feet to disrespect the Quran. Quick question, why are they doing all this? Why are they disrespecting the Quran for? Leave the Quran alone. Leave black magic. Why? Who's the man at the top of the pyramid? What happens to shaitan when you disrespect the Quran? He loves. Shaitan ko khush karo, shaitan will do everything for you. That's why I keep explaining that pyramid. That's why they do all this. Another thing they have to do is remain in a state of janaba, impurity. So if it's a woman, menstrual cycle. If it's a man, he won't perform ghusl. And also sacrificing sacrificing animals in the name of shaitan. Yeah, when you do dhabiha, halal animal, you do it in the name of Allah. Bismillah, Allahu Akbar. They will also sacrifice a sheep, a goat, a cow, a bird, even pigeons and owls in the name of shaitan. The shaitan gets happy, he gets empowered. Yeah? And sometimes they disrespect Allah's names in different ways. They prostrate to other than Allah, whether it's a human, a jinn, an idol. Then they obviously utter certain incantations which also constitute of disbelief, kufr and shirk. Yeah? So all of these things are done to
do black magic, and there's one, I've forgotten, yeah, performing salah. So if they're Muslim, namaz bhi padenge, baghair wudu, without wudu. So don't think everybody in your masjid, and we don't want to be like suspicious, but sometimes people say this person is black magic, this person is black magic. वो तो पक्का नमाज़ी है, वो तो हर साल हज जाता है. That's what I'm answering. They pray salah without wudu. If people are doing black magic, it doesn't mean someone prays salah, they're not doing black magic. In short, the greater the kufr and shirk, the more obedient shaitan will be to you. The more he'll do for you. Chota kufr shirk, chota kam. Bara kufr shirk, bara kam. So, I mentioned animal sacrifice. And there's another thing they do, which is called human sacrifice. Kill a human on the name of shaitan. You kill a human being, shaitan will do a very, very big act for you. You kill a child, shaitan will do sajda to you. Masoom bacha. Allah ko napasand hai. Shaitan gets very happy. Yeah? So these stories we hear in certain countries of children going missing could be black magic. It's a ritual. Yeah, you know what you see in African stuff commonly, whenever they're killing or burning a child, it's all black magic. To visit a magician is an act of kufr. Yeah? Is an act of kufr. Those who practice black magic, those who do these rituals, are out of the fold of Islam. Chahe dari ho, hijab ho, niqab ho, hajj mein jaye, umrah mein jaye, out of the fold of Islam because you are bowed down to shaitan. At this point, inshallah, there won't be anybody sitting here, but there's probably hundreds listening online and at home. If somebody thinks that they have ended up with the wrong people and now they've become a victim, meaning they can't get out of shaitan's trap, they can't get out of the circle, you know the pyramid, they're trapped in that pyramid, they've become a regular customer. This does happen. Yeah, someone अच्छी नीयत थी, good intentions, बस मेरे बच्चे की शादी हो जाए, yeah, मेरी बच्ची की शादी हो जाए. Had good intentions, but they ended up at the wrong place. India, Pakistan, this stuff is rife. Yeah, every street corner, these shops are available. More than STDs. These places are so much that sometimes brothers and sisters, out of desperation, sometimes brothers, out of majburi, they go to these wrong people, but then these wrong people take full advantage. Sirf paise nahi dete. It's like a upar wala to chahte hai, ye kafir, ye kafir, ye kafir, ye kafir, ye kafir. So it will say to the magician, tu to kafir ban gaya. You dead man. Usko kafir, usko kafir. So the customers eventually become kafir. They may come do acts of kufr, sajda and the sacrificing, etc., etc. Because the top man, he only wants one thing. He don't care if husband and wife stay together or divorce. He don't care kisi ka ghar barbad ho. He don't care kisi ka business barbad ho. He doesn't benefit from money. He just wants kafirs. I want kafir, kafir, kafir. That's how the circle goes round and round and round. So these 10 customers can bring another 10 customers. Yeah? Referrals, family and friends. I know we shouldn't joke about it, but just for you to understand, that's exactly how it works. And eventually this cycle goes round and round and round, and hundreds and thousands of people have become kafir. Why am I mentioning this? If there's somebody listening at home or somewhere that has fallen prey to these magicians, then visit your imam, go to a sister and do tawbah. From this program today, you're all going to pray Ayatul Kursi. That's still the deal. If one person does tawbah, one brother, one sister who is engrossed in black magic repents and gives up, it will be hard because shaitan won't let her go or him go. These are shaitan's guys, yeah? Shaitan's cronies, these are my boys. I'm not going to let you go. It will be hard. Hence I'm saying, if you can't do it alone, visit somebody. Ask somebody, ring them. If you don't want to reveal your identity, email them, ring them on private number, do what you need to, but do tawbah. Why am I saying this? Because many Muslims have. Yeah? It's one of the purposes of these talks, that many Muslims, what did I say, their intention wasn't black magic, yeah? I don't believe any Muslim would intentionally do it. They just ended up in the wrong place. They got the wrong advice. Your daughter's having problems with husband, aa jao, 4 baje is jagah, is kone ke piche, theek ho jayegi. Aur theek bhi ho jati hai. So the lady thinks, ye to kuch acha kiya. But he did black magic. Black magic cures people. Black magic can get people married. Yeah, like I said, somebody's handsome, rich family, you want them for your daughter. It'll happen. Yeah, it cures people, but it's the wrong way. If you have marital problems, your husband is abusive, or your wife has a sharp tongue, then there's ways to cure it. Sadaqah hai, dua hai, kiske paas dua karao. Black magic is not the solution. It's the wrong solution, because it's never a one time. They make you come again and again and again. So like I mentioned, there's many of these things, and one other thing I forgot to mention is when people go to these people here, when I say magician, in your head is a guy with a pointed hair, crooked nose, black robe, black mascara, beard, no beard, and sitting in a circle with 40 candles. No. When you go to these people, they just look like me and you. Not me, yeah. They do look very normal people. They might have a beard, they might look a sister with hijab, etc. But people, that's why people fall for the deception. Ye to achhe log hain. Ye to hamare khandan wale hain. Because they have a beard and the sister wears hijab. They don't wear the black mascara and the black mask and the black cloak. Those things don't exist. These people are very normal. And sometimes they sit in circles, they light candles, they burn things. And all of these things are related to black magic. Asking somebody for urine, or a dirty nappy, or menstrual cycle blood. Asking for somebody's hair and nails. Hence you should be very careful when you dispose of your hair and nails. But remember the end deal. Shaitan just wants kufr. But all these people benefit from money or black magic, etc. So you will not find magicians with 2 horns and a red face, etc. They will look very normal. Now to conclude, that's the end of the black magic. I've done the symptoms as well. Is if somebody is affected by evil eye or black magic, what is the ilaj? What is the cure? On that note, if somebody does have questions, if you send them forward, then I just know how much time to leave for the question and answers, inshallah. But we are finishing off. So, when it comes to the treatment plan, there are not many different. Famously, there's 2-3 methods, but probably if you visit people of other religions, like Hindus and Sikhs, which Muslims do go to, they might have loads of methods, but generally it's ruqya method, ta'weer, amaliyat, etc. I'm going to make one thing very clear. In every sect, in every race, in every religion, there are rotten apples. Even Islam has rotten apples. We have good Muslims and bad Muslims. Does that mean Islam is a bad religion? No. The Quran is perfect. Islam is perfect. Hadith is perfect. The Muslims might be corrupt in our a'mal individually. I might have bad practices. You can't blame Quran and Hadith for that. Christians also have bad Christians. Atheists have bad atheists. Hindus and Sikhs have bad people. But we don't blame the religion. The religion is sahih, authentic, and will remain to Qiyamah, the authentic. So like I said, in every professional field, there are also rotten apples. Doctors are meant to, what do doctors do? Cure, shifa dete. I know doctors, and some of you will know doctors who have killed people. Yeah? Famous cases in this country. Bahid Chora, in this country, there are doctors who have killed people, but they were meant to cure. Do you stop going to the doctor because of this 1 or 2 cases? No. What the hell? Teachers are meant to educate our children. There are teachers who have abused our children. Shall we all stop sending our kids to school? Few cases. Same with the police. Are meant to uphold the law and defend us. There are police officers who abuse the law. Do we stop calling the police? No, there's few cases. Every professional field has rotten apples. In this field as well, in the ilaj, there are people who are corrupt, who have incorrect beliefs, incorrect practices, who are money makers, who are fraudsters, imposters and charlatans. There is no doubt. But the rule is the doctor, the teacher, the police. Har giroh mein hota hai. So, the second thing I need to mention is common sense is very important in our religion. Things are based on Quran and Hadith, lekin har bande ko Allah ne akal diya. Yeah, everybody has sense. ये बंदा सही है, ये बंदी सही है, उसने मुझे 400 पाउंड कहा 5 मिनट के लिए. Yeah, 400 pounds, 500 pounds to see you for 5 minutes. Common sense is no. Yeah, we're British, we're educated, we're in this country. You're not born in some village in India, Pakistan. We're here now. Kuch seekho yahan aakar. Because when people come to me, this guy did enough, this guy did enough, I tell you straight, the first person I blame is the person himself. Akal bhi ghar par chhodi thi us din. Common sense is very important. So when you go to somebody, you need to make sure they are Sharia compliant. Yeah? They are practicing Muslims. There are people, wallahi, out there curing people. Jummah ki namaz mein aur log jate hain. Log bewakoof hain. Do you get it? You can't always blame the person. The fraudsters are out there. Chor hai. What's happened to you and I? What's happened to our common sense? So it's very important you do your research. Ask the Imam of the masjid, ask an elder in the masjid, in the community, आपकी बेटी को भी जिन हुआ था, आप किसके पास गए थे, etc. etc. Get a referral. कुछ इलाज हुआ था, कुछ सही हुआ था, etc. Number 2, when you go, yeah, there are certain things they shouldn't be doing. So, if a woman goes and it's a man treating, you shouldn't be touching her. There's no reason for any man to touch a woman. Yeah, there's no reason. It can be done, and there are people doing it. People say to me, what about a doctor? Doctors doing heart transplant. Doctors helping with labor. That's different. Yeah? They need to expose certain parts of their body or touch a female. Don't give me that doctor's example because I've heard it too many times and it's not good enough. Doctor is zarurat, necessity. These Taweez people and Ruqya guys do not need to touch any female. और उसी से गलत काम शुरू होते हैं. यहाँ हाथ लगाते हैं, गर्दन पे हाथ लगाते हैं, and then that's where the problem starts and shaitan influences. So use your brain. If it's your wife, it's your sister, there's no need for anybody to touch a female. There's no need. And the guy who says, bring him to me. Because I know people who've done it and they've got better and they didn't touch. The second thing, a woman goes, she should have her mahram. If she doesn't have her mahram, she needs to take women with her, mother or sister, etc. Yeah? So these are the things you should have in place. And if somebody is doing it without these things, then that guy is not Sharia compliant. Now, like I mentioned, generally there's 2 types of ilaj, ruqya or ta'weez. So even financially, if somebody does it for their job, they shouldn't be charging hundreds of pounds. Yeah? Some people may have a cost which may seem high. Maybe they have a clinic or a shop to pay rent for. So it's common sense, again, common sense, the guy needs to pay. So he might charge 40, 50 pounds an hour. If you find that too much, argue with him. I'm only explaining, not justifying. Yeah? Same with these Taweez people, if they do it in a masjid or renting a room or whatever, it should be reasonable. It should never be in the hundreds. Never. Yeah? The Prophet ﷺ said, with every illness there is a cure. Allah would not make that cure difficult for you. Allah is Rahim and Kareem, the merciful and generous. Our Allah wouldn't do that. Cure ilaj jo hai na China mein hai. Chand par hai. It's too difficult. You're going to say to Allah, Allah, I was ill, I was dying from cancer. My wife had a jinn and the ilaj was in China. Ilaj 500 pound ka tha. That's common sense. I'm just using common sense. Allah would not do that to you. Allah would make the ilaj cheap and feasible. Ke har ek ko mumkin ho. Reasonable price. Or jo banda is in the hundreds and don't go to him. There are people who do it at reasonable prices. So, same with Ruqya and Taweez. Now with regards to Ruqya, obviously the hadith of the Prophet ﷺ. Aisha radiallahu anha said the Prophet ﷺ ordered us to seek Ruqya. Yeah? And in another hadith is to do Ruqya on ourselves. Both are authentic. If you're performing Ruqya on yourself, then you need to learn it. You can't do DIY job. Yeah? It's not like fixing a cupboard from IKEA. You need to learn Ruqya of somebody. Go and learn it, then do it yourself. If it's just for your family, that's fine. If you want to do it professionally, then you need to learn it. just like you learn anything else. You cannot do these YouTube videos and learn a few ayats and crash bang walla, boom, jinns are coming out. Yeah? Ask the person when you go to him, brother, where did you learn Ruqya? YouTube. Okay, share YouTube, see you later. Yeah? Ask him. That's another thing that's common sense. Pucho. Don't just look at his beard, Nambi, Dari, Lamba, Wazifa, this guy's. Yeah, this guy's good. Lamba, Jabba, this guy's good. Anybody can wear it. Even a non-Muslim could wear it and keep a beard. Same with Ta'weez people. Ta'weez, now, it is a method, it's a method which is predominantly used in our Indian Pakistani people. With Ta'weez, what I say is precaution. Because a lot of the things I mentioned about black magic, yeah, Ta'weez people counteract it. So they also use lemons and black things to counteract it. Yeah? They also sometimes ask for vest and stuff or shirt for black magic people as well. Black magic people also ask for names and they do. You need to be careful. If you are given a ta'weez, then you need to make sure you can read it. If you cannot read it or you don't trust it, then don't use it. If it's a Quran ayat and it's clear what it says, then use it. Yeah? So I'm going to be very fair with ta'weez, because ta'weez has caused a lot of problems. Whether you like it or not, admit it or not, because many ta'weez was a form of source of jadoo. Years later, the family found out takiye ke niche, kaantu ke niche, wahi 10 saal ka ta'weez, and that's the one that came from Pakistan, and your auntie, uncle, granddad said, rakh lo, and don't ever open it. Why don't ever open it? Do you get it? And many times. So you need to be very careful with ta'weez. The cost, like I mentioned, it is there, it's in hadith. Even the Sahaba visited a clan and they did ruqya on one of the chiefs, and they took certain camels or sheep, and the Prophet ﷺ actually said, leave me a portion of there, it's barakah, it's good. And the Sahabi just read Surah Fatiha, which was their form of ruqya, and the man got cured. So to take a charge is not haram, but it should be reasonable. And like I mentioned, with regards to ta'weez, a lot of people, again our Orthodox Muslim brothers and sisters say shirk and etc. You got to remember, a lot of these people have asked them, okay, so people who use ta'weez are shirk, yeah? So like hundreds and thousands of people probably in Birmingham are all mushriks and they go straight to Jahannam. No, they're not going to Jahannam. But you just said they're doing shirk. Do you get it? They don't understand the implications of calling somebody a mushrik. Ta'weez certain times does contain words of shirk. That's why I said you need to read it. But the Prophet ﷺ, the hadith they use is, there is a hadith that all amulets are shirk. All amulets are shirk. But do you also know there's a hadith that says some forms of ruqya are shirk? Yeah, ruqya is always known as Quran, hadith and du'as and authentic. It's a hadith in Abu Dawud and Musnad Ahmad that says some forms of ruqya are shirk. What's the explanation? Hadith means interpretation, not copy and paste. It's the amulets and ruqya which contain words of jahiliyyah, shirk and kufr. Okay? And I think that's everything covered. The final thing on the cure is a few things which I like to mention just generally, which anybody can do and you can use at home and is safe. If somebody's not sure, or if you want to even as protection, is general Quran. The Quran says that Quran is shifa. We reveal in the Quran that which is a cure. So generally read the Quran what you can, half a para, one juz, your daily Surah Yasin, Tabarak, etc. Ayatul Kursi. Number one, manzil and things are good, it's all Quran. Number two is hijama, cupping, it's mentioned in hadith, helps with evil eye, black magic. Ajwa date, 7 in the morning. If you can't have all 7, break it up, have 3, then 2 and 2, but 7 in a day, helps with black magic and poison. Zamzam, widely available now, helps immensely with black magic. Black seed oil and olive oil, both mentioned in hadith. Sadaqah, hadith mentions, give sadaqah to cure your ill. It's a forgotten hadith, nobody does that. People give sadaqah every day, but your intention should be that, cure my mother, cure my father. Hajj and Umrah, this is from experience. Many people with jinjadu issues, because you go to such a barakati and nurani place, it helps with these issues. Ruqya obviously itself, sidr leaves, and generally morning, evening adhkar, which you can find, just put in Hisnul Muslim PDF in Google and come up morning, evening adhkar. Hizbul Azam, Mawadat, Munajat Maqbool, these books are good. Honey is very good. It's also a form of cure. But like I said, a lot of things have the intention. The intention is to protect you from nazar or cure you from jadoo, etc. So these are all the questions, yeah?
Yes.
Is it true that if a person goes to somebody to get help for magic or nazar, does that person get deprived of Allah's mercy in the day of judgment, i.e. not getting the shade of Allah? So like I mentioned, to go to somebody with black magic issues is an act of kufr. Yeah, I don't know of any hadith that specifically says that you'll be deprived of the shade of the throne on the day of Qiyamah. But if you're going to perform kufr, you will be deprived of Allah's mercy. You're not going to get Allah's help. Can you provide references from Quran and Hadith regarding the nazar and black magic for us to do further research on? So I did mention for both references that black magic and nazar is proven from Quran and Hadith. There are certain books you can find on this matter, and inshallah again the talk will be uploaded onto YouTube or Facebook, so if somebody wants to listen to it. Brother, you mentioned everything is pre-written, death, marriage, children, and us coming to the bayan is pre-written. If this is the case, then how are we tested if everything is pre-written? Because the test is written. Everything is written, so if you got cancer, you got divorced, you got depressed, or you had ginger, there was written on the 1st of January, this thing will happen. What is taqdeer is a tricky topic. I know I touched upon it, but you shouldn't think about it too much as well, because shaitan works magic. When you start thinking about taqdeer, I'll give you an example. So tonight I'm going to go to cinema and I'm going to watch this movie, or tonight I'm going to gamble, I'm going to drink a pint of alcohol, but Allah wrote it anyway, so I might as well do it. It's not my fault, Allah wrote it. No, Allah knew, hence He wrote it. Yeah, you are given free will. That might answer the question though. With a lot of things you are given free will. It's your choice. Allah only wrote it because He knew. But everything is written. So if you feel there is a block to work, what's best to remove, also save from future problems in general? So I think I've answered that question. If you feel you have blocks, then the things that I mentioned, the manzil, the Quran, the hijama, the black seed oil, olive oil, and ajwa leaves, etc. If you think you have jinns in your house, how do you get rid of them? The best method is, again, all of these things. If that doesn't work, Surah Baqarah. Praying Surah Baqarah. We've made everything easy, so people have started to use YouTube and CDs. It's there. I'm not defying CDs and YouTube. Praying. In the hadith of the Prophet ﷺ, he said, pray Surah Baqarah. The playing is a last option for somebody whose Quran or Tajweed isn't good, somebody who's dyslexic or can't read as well. But you need to pray Surah Baqarah. If you can't do it in a day, do it over 3 days, do it over a week. But praying Surah Baqarah will remove jinn and black magic problems. Again with manzil and daily Quran. What is your opinion on Amins who use Muslim jinns? So I think I've already mentioned that as well with the taweez, etc. That it is a method which is predominantly used and widely used. You just need to make sure that what you're getting is authentic. So if they've asked for blood, or menstrual cycle blood, or urine, anything impure, or 12 o'clock, go to the graveyard and bury this, then those sort of things aren't authentic. So you need to be careful. If you're given a taweez, then make sure it is possible that you can read it. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us all full benefit of today's talk. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protect us all from evil eye and black magic, and those who are suffering, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give them authentic sources to get cured from.
So we can ask for the channel for I was going to be on the front from the beginning, but I forgot.